So here we are. Daylight's fading a little bit now. It's 9:10, so you're probably going to have about half an hour left of daylight. I'm just going to bait up the rods now and get them out there pretty soon. Now, bait I'm using tonight, I've got some frozen lugworm, which obviously it's better to have fresh, but unable to get any fresh unfortunately. But I do have some fresh ragworm. Some of these aren't too bad, some are a bit on the small side, but yeah, beggars can't be choosers tonight. I've also got a bit of mackerel with me and some cuttlefish out the freezer, just in case this spot is completely dead. I might go somewhere else a bit later on around high tide and yeah, try for something different maybe. But anyway, 2 running ledger rigs tonight. Got size just a single 1/0 Cox and Roll specimen hook, couple of beads at the top and a bait stopper. Got about 2.5 foot hook length, which is 20 pound amnesia. 3.5 ounce lead on one rod, which is a grip lead, and the other one I've just got a 5 ounce barrel weight. So yeah, let's get these baited up. Now, I'm not going to do anything fancy, just literally going to thread the lugworm on first, and then I'll get that up and over the hook, and then just put 1 ragworm on. I don't want to go too crazy with the bait because A, I don't have much, and B, it can be very, very snaggy around here. So I just kind of want to see how the first couple of casts go. Hopefully I don't lose the bait to any snags. That can happen sometimes. Your line gets wrapped up in weed, you reel it in, all your bait's gone. Either the crabs have had it or it's just got ripped off. But then we're going to go on with 1 ragworm. Just slide that onto the hook like that, and then push it all down, push the bait stopper down, and yeah, that's it. So not massive baits, but hopefully big enough and juicy enough to entice something. I'll get the other rig done, and we should be able to get them out there pretty soon. Even if the tide's really low, I'm going to throw them out with that light fade in. Hopefully, if there are any fish around this area, they'll be coming in, hunting under the cover of darkness. Now ideally I'm after a gilthead bream or a bass, but we'll see what happens really. You never know with fishing, anything can turn up. It's a very good area, really good ground all the way up the whole of this coastline. I might actually have to get the head torch on fairly soon, even though it probably still looks like daylight. Getting quite difficult to see now. There we are, there's the other rig, baited up, ready to go. So let's get fishing. Now, the daylight is fading pretty quickly, so I'm hoping whilst I get this little bit on film, there's enough light for you to see me. Now I've just cast both the rods out. One of them is fairly close in onto mostly sand, and the other rod is a bit further out, and it's quite rough out there. A lot of weed, little rocks sort of like this with weed on them. So yeah, that's the reason behind grip lead on one, the right hand rod to try and keep it on the sand, and a rolling weight on the other one just to avoid any snags. Now you do get snagged, the hook can still get snagged in weed or behind a rock, but sometimes with the tide running here, you have a rolling weight on, it just means your bait is just rolling through the tide, which can be quite effective. Now I really don't know what to expect, we don't have very big tides at all. I've done a bit of bait fishing here and there lately, trying to target a gilthead bream. I went out twice so far, only managed to catch blackbream. The other time I blanked. So yeah, it had been really poor for a long time, and I just kind of gave up hope really. So hopefully things are going to start to pick up. Personally, I kind of like fishing these tides, the smaller tides. When you're fishing the big springs, you're constantly moving. I prefer the neaps, to be honest. You get more time in one area. So anyway, yeah, 2 rods, both with the same rig, just running ledger rigs, both baited the same hooks. Ideally looking for a gilthead bream, possibly a bass. But to be honest, I'll take anything tonight. So I'm going to give it a few hours here. It's about 9:30 in the evening, or coming up to 9:30. High tide tonight isn't until about 12:30, I think. And like I said, it's not a big tide, so it's going to come in very slowly. But we'll see how we get on. So if anything happens, I'll put the camera back on and yeah, tell you what's happening.
Well, the more I do this bait fishing malarkey, the more I realise most of the time I don't actually really enjoy it. It is just nightmare after nightmare sometimes. So first cast came to nothing, had weed on one rig, bait gone on the other, which I'm pretty sure probably just crabs, because I could feel the lead stuck in the weed. So I've had to move back a little bit because the tide's pushed in a bit, and then my tripod broke, but luckily I've managed to fix it. So after all that, getting rebaited, get back out there. But yeah, really is a pain sometimes. I'm a really impatient person. I get bored very easily. And so when the fishing isn't incredible, which it rarely is, yeah, I'm always thinking, oh, what can I do next? Shall I change rig? Shall I go somewhere else? All the normal things. Sometimes you just got to wait it out. Could be the last hour of your session that you start to get bites. You just never know. So that is one of the beauties with sea fishing. But for someone as impatient as me, it can be a bit tedious sometimes. And then when things start to go wrong, it all feels like it's going against you. But anyway, rant over. Let's get some new baits out there. Now I'm going to chuck these ones a little bit closer in and hopefully just hit the sand. Well, I just had a stonking bite then. The rod was bouncing up and down, literally just got to it. Oh, I feel going again. Don't think it's on there. I think it just came back again. Pretty sure it's not hooked up. The rod literally just started bouncing up and down. Got up as quick as I could. Just, oh, there we go again. It's come back. I wonder what that is. I'm not on. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm not on. I could be wrong, but oh, I could be on actually, because it was just a kick then. I am on. What do we have here? I think it's a little black bream. Oh no, it is a gilthead. Is it? Or is it a black bream? Oh no, sorry, false alarm, it is a black bream. Well, there we go. Not a bad size as well. So I was right the first time. Black bream. Did look like a gilt for a second. Will admit, I got a little bit excited. That's actually a decent size. So here we are. One black bream. Quite a nice size one as well. Definitely a keeper size. And I think I may just be keeping that. Beauty. Good start that. Hopefully some of your cousins, the giltheads out there. There we go, hooked nicely in the bottom of the jaw there. One black bream. I'm going to put him out his misery. I'm going to be taking that one home. But at least we got a fish. We're an hour into the session. They do look cool. Don't know if you can see the blue in the fin there. He's tensing up, he's not happy. But let's get that bait back out there. Well, that wasn't the target species we're after, but at least it's a fish. I'm happy about that. I'm going to get rebaited. Get this rod out there. That was caught on the lighter rod, 2 to 4 ounce, 11.5 foot, just a cheap Shakespeare rod, nothing fancy. But that's why I've been chucking that one onto the sand, just because with the tide run here and the rough ground, it's nicer to have a bit of a heavier rod to be able to deal with that. So my other rod is the Daiwa Sea Hunter, which to be honest I'm not a huge fan of. I've been looking at beach rods for about 3 months now, trying to decide which ones to get. I want 2 of the same, 12 foot ideally, for doing this sort of fishing, fairly light. So if anyone has any recommendations, please let me know. But there we go, there's the bait ready. Chuck it back out there. See if we can find that black bream's cousin. Well, the tide's starting to pull a bit harder now as it's flooding in, which I was expecting. It's just got a little twist and tangle in this rig. But this one drifted way too far. Tide's dragging it across the seabed. Just drifted into a snag. So I've just reeled them both in. I've baited one of them up already. And I'm just going to bait the other one up as well. But this time I'm going with just ragworm. Just one ragworm on each. And I'm going to chuck them if I can, because it's pretty hard to see in the dark, but chuck them onto the sand. There's a better one, that was not bad. Yeah, I just had the fright of my life. Could hear ruffling like that on the stones, turn round thinking someone else is here, and it was a bloody rat the size of a cat. Huge. So I got my light on it and yeah, scared it off. Don't want that thing coming anywhere near me.
Now I'm going to save the lugworm, because what I might do is just have one more cast here, or sort of another half an hour, 1 or 2 casts, and then I might try somewhere else. Right, well I think that's my call to go now. I've given it about an hour and 45 minutes here. Just had that one black bream. No other knocks or bites or anything. So I think I'm going to head somewhere else. I'm not actually too sure where I'm going to go yet, but I'll get back to the car, have a little think, and go fish somewhere over high water. So I'll see you at the next spot.